They should pick what they're comfortable with and what works. So we should see the Alchemist again. The Pugna.
But you said you didn't want Omni, and they've been playing Omni Knight a lot too.
I mean, if that's what they're comfortable with,
Well, you know they are. We've watched them
I
play
just
it.
want them to have a nice, stress-free game. And
That's
just,
fair.
if I could give them a back and neck massage, I'd do it. I want them to be comfortable.
I think that is a quintessential oxymoron there, Slacks. A relaxing game against wings. I don't know if that ever happens.
What does that first word mean?
Quintessential?
That
We got a
is
draft
fine.
here, folks.
The Walmart handbook doesn't have words like those.
I'm quintessentially confused.
This panel is the quintessential of cringe. Ha
All right, so some variation here in the opening bands. Wings, Dire Side again. They take out Bounty Hunter Nyx. Last game it was the Bounty Hunter Spirit Breaker. And Drow Timber now taken out by EHOME. Last game they banned out the Drow Kunkka. But yet again, first pick Warlock for EHOME.
Yeah, haven't seen that much.
Understandable with the next man too. I do think in terms of like the positives of that game, pretty excellent carapaces and whatnot. The stuns too from the assassin, already showing off the skill they have in terms of the vision game too. That hero can provide. So that's kind of runs back to yesterday, but was more the highlight stuff for EHOME.
Do you think EHOME gets Spirit Breaker in that case for their second pick? As that was the hero that got replaced, right, by the next assassin ban?
I don't know if you take it that early, but like maybe unless they're gonna like Ricky and Spirit Breaker ban or something like that, I feel like you still have those options. Maybe it depends on who Wings pick. If like this core hero here is decent enough that Spirit Breaker's like, yeah, this hero's like pretty bad against Spirit.
Yeah.
You know, people think they know Warlock. He's picked in every game. But here's a questionnaire. What appears if Warlock does his slow long enough?
A hand?
A skull.
Planet. A black hole.
A win.
The correct answer was both Grant and Zyori. It creates a cool skull and a win, typically, if it's full duration. Isn't that neat, guys?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. Nailed it, dummy.
Witch Doctor OD for Wings, sticking true to the Witch Doctor. And the classic OD we've seen against the Warlock, very effective against the Golems.
I would call that a bad hero against Spirit Breaker. Or rather, I would not pick Spirit Breaker into OD.
Yeah, right,
A
because the
core with
imprisonment,
prison? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, what about
but
the
it
LC?
puts more value to Riki, right?
We saw
sure.
EHOME really value the LC in the series against Complexity. They second picked it 2
I think
games
it's
in a
more
row.
because they abuse complexities, maybe no knowledge of it. While I assume Wings probably has a lot more knowledge of it. Like, I mean, they
And that
probably
is
play
true.
versus
The
it.
region
That's
plays
it,
it a lot more.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough. I guess it's similar like Bounty Hunter Ricky. It's a little bit more of a regional type thing. We saw almost none of those heroes in the EU Boston qualifier, but apparently the Chinese qualifier they were the talk of the
And here we go,
town.
Bat Rider instead of Darkseer does the same thing, wins his lane great, farms up, a little better initiation. I mean, you're not forced to pick a Slardar to do the initiating when you have a Darkseer.
Yeah, you have to reveal it earlier, which is the downside, but the fact that you do get a more versatile hero in the Bat Rider over the Darkseer doesn't need as much help, can be much more of a, okay, we have a Bat Rider in our draft, we don't have to base the rest of it around this guy.
Alchemist banned.
Third banned, as well as
Again.
Omni Knight banned.
Yep. They don't want that combo. Their victory combo, as we put it. So we'll see if it ain't gonna happen.
My man, Ice Ice.
Do you know there's also a player called Ice?
Who's that, Grant?
There's also a player called Ice.
Did you know
And Icy.
Well,
these
most
guys
of these
should get
players-
Ice on their team.
they're very nice?
Yes.
Ice Ice Ice, his name is Daryl.
Shut up. Don't try to add facts in either, brother.
Do you think you ban away, you've got an OD, you ban away Pugna, right?
Likely.
Oh.
Veno ban, okay.
So EHOME can go for a Sylar Pugna if they want.
Schnick!
Sylar Pugna is available.
Get off.
I'm sorry.
Respect the snakes.
I will respect this man.
I don't know, they've had a lot of time to, they could pick a Pugna, but I have a feeling Wings is one of those teams, like, they want you to do that. They
Yeah.
have something in the, I mean,
And then you're afraid to do it because they want you to do it.
yeah, it's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
it's like a head play, you know, like, it's in your head.
A mind game?
Yeah, it's a mind game.
I think
A game of mind.
I had play.
I think a Beastmaster, we kind of talked about him last
I don't
game.
know. I don't know multi-syllabic words, so
It's game.
It's a game.
It's a head play.
in the mind. All right, anyhow.
Speaking of quintessential
it
picks,
goes in the brain
Yeah,
box.
hey, everybody shut up. Someone's trying to make a point. Mod packs.
up against this Bat Rider.
Yeah,
I think pretty solid Beastmaster pick possibly here for Wings Gaming. You want the vision up against them. You want that attack speed aura for your OD. The Ogre is still in the pool as well, though, so if they were thinking about the Bloodlust OD, which is another combination we've seen a lot of, definitely a good option. Or maybe they want to deny one of those heroes like the Ricky from the side of EHOME too, is,
You know,
they still have some of those vision guys
Trent,
around.
You keep bringing up Ogre, but does Wings actually play Ogre? I don't know if they picked it yet this tournament.
Are you asking if Wings doesn't play a hero?
Well, no, it's
How
too.
dare you?
It's too
That is
standard. It's
That
too
is it.
standard. They're too busy playing Witch Doctor and these other supports. Like,
That's true.
They really don't gravitate towards the Ogre very much at all, even though he's quite strong.
Yeah.
That's fair, but I think he's extremely strong with the OD.
I'm not disagreeing there, friend.
Does have very good synergy.
No, I disagree.
Knight.
No.
Of course, they're not
Alright.
going to go traditional.
Wings
so...
Gaming, ladies and
That's a
gentlemen.
vision hero.
But hasn't Faith Beyond played this offlane as well?
Yeah.
believe so, yes.
So-
Yeah, this is also the play that used to happen against Bat Riders all the time. You
Bye-bye.
pick up either Beastmaster or Night Stalker because the vision game is so important when you're dealing with a Bat Rider.
And it's also good counter initiation. You've got a slow, you've got some silence action. Great way to jump on Warlock, lock
High
him down.
armor.
Great way to jump on Bat Rider. It comes online very early too.
Because if you were playing a Beastmaster in this scenario, you're still playing the vision game, but you'd want to be ideally probably roaring the Warlock, right? You want to get in the back line, stop him from getting off the ulti. But in this case, Night Stalker can do the same thing with the vision game, but he has a much lower cooldown on the silence. It's going to have essentially the same impact as roaring, as if you roared the Warlock, right?
Yeah.
Just silence him up, jump on top, let your allies follow
Luna.
through, and then you get an additional silence.
And a midi stun versus upheaval, like all those things are really nice to have. And they still have the versatility to be able to throw this as a jungling Night Stalker and play greedy or do the offlane with Faith Beyond.
Yeah, even like a dual lane Darkseer kind of stuff is still there for them as well.
So is this going to be a SD Luna here for EHOME?
Could be.
Is anybody really playing Luna without the Shadow Demon?
Sometimes just for the tri-laning potential, but
Yeah.
I think NP did it once. That's also when they got the Aghanim's Luna and it just blew everyone up.
Oh, I remember that game. Yeah, that was actually quite good.
Well, Wings looking for their next pick. I mean, it's hard to try to guess what they're going to bring to the table. They could do a deny pick here.
What would that be?
Shadow Demon.
Take it for themselves?
Look at that.
That would be
double
no.
saves.
Nope. They take Jakiro.
That is a sick dual off lane though.
Yeah,
Night Stalker, Jakiro?
Yeah, enabling, if you want your Night Stalker to be core and you're looking for one of those position 4 heroes to help him out, the Undying, the Jakiro. Jakiro might just be honestly the best one.
He has
too.
insane,
Yeah,
like,
big
starting
damage,
HP.
big slows. Night Stalker can just chase him down, give him the right click claw. I like it.
I don't know if I like it.
You don't like the Jakiro?
What's not to like
I
about
like
Night
the
Stalker
Jakiro.
Jakiro?
I like the
Slacks?
Jakiro, but I just think that there's a reason people don't pick Night Stalker anymore. I mean, he kind of falls out. The vision game is nice. The Ags is good. He falls out a little bit. And then if we get in that super late game against the Luna, I mean, what is he going to do? He's basically like a mobile mini stunner.
I mean, it's like running a safe lane starter, but there's not as much risk involved, right?
Because you
Because
still have a safe lane.
you're an offlane position.
There it is.
This feels pretty obvious.
Yeah?
You have an OD, you didn't ban away the
Yeah.
Pugna, they had to have known this was coming, so I don't know what their last pick is meant to be and how it's going to counter the Pugna.
Yeah, I saw.
Omni's gone.
Yeah, I like the Night Stalker against Pugna. Obviously, he's gonna prioritize an Ags. They're always gonna know where that ward is, which
Yeah.
is nice. But they don't really have anything to kill the ward per se. Like
Yeah,
in
they
the
have-
back of fights, which is, I mean, you'll know where it's at, but how are you gonna kill it?
Yeah, how do you get through Luna and Warlock with the Chaotic Offering at Upheaval, and there's Bat Rider Fire and all that stuff.
So
like,
is this gonna be a middle Pugna then?
they could be running an aggro tri-lane and put Pugna as safe lane and mid Bat Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Versus OD?
Pugna, no, yeah, I guess.
I think Pugna
Pugna's
matches
fine,
up better
right?
middle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Pugna matches up better. They play this just nuke game.
Yeah.
I in prison, you blast.
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker, 5th ban here from Wings.
Smart.
High priority for EHOME, good ban. It's good against the Wings heroes as well. Tough final ban here for EHOME though. So many options still for Wings.
Because the good thing about this is Wings doesn't really need a tower pushing safe lane because they have the Jakiro already. Like, you don't need that high physical damage. So if they want to go another team fight, they can, which is nice. Usually when you have like an Outworld of Battery, like, well, we need a tower pusher too, but
Really
Hero
smart
fills
ban
that
on
role.
the Weaver though.
Yeah. Hero that can abuse vision too, just in itself, like knowing where the enemies are and whatnot.
and no stuns
And
besides lasso.
One that can kind of get in the back line.
You can't even run like, you can't even try and get greedy and pick up a 4 position jungler against Night Stalker because he picks up like level 3 by 4 minutes, and then he rotates in.
Yeah.
Just like boots and half an Aaron, and he'll just run at you.
Ooh. And if things go awry for Night Stalker, you can always get an Iron Talon and farm at an okay rate. I mean, it's there. Not amazing, but possible.
Yes.
This is a tough last pick for both teams, honestly. I think for Wings, though, I'm really not certain what they want.
Whoa! EHOME, take the support Pudge.
Slacks, they picked you.
Oh, thanks, Casey. You know, I actually liked EHOME's draft a lot more before the Pudge. I mean, I'm not going to be this guy, but he's got some pretty hard targets to hit. All very mobile heroes. Their setup is not that great. They got a few slows, they got one stun, they got one ult. He's going to have to really work his ass off to be effective in this game. There's a high probability of what
But that's not the point of the Pudge, right? The Pudge isn't supposed to be like the initiator with the hook. This isn't like them needing to be able to find that opening. Batrider already gives you that opening. They needed a floor position that would be able to tank a little bit of damage and be a frontliner for them, to protect the ward, to protect the Luna. Like, he can just operate as sort of this slow slash... Like, the hook is going to be useful, absolutely, but I think this hero is more about, like, just being able to create space for your two cores that are a little bit more fragile and very good at being able to assist frontliners. Luna comes in with the Eclipse already active. Pugna is able to heal you up or, you know, life drain whatever target you're dismembering. I think that it's a good put together, but I'm not sure if it beats the Slark last pick.
Bullshit.
All right, well, we need predictions here.
Okay.
Last pick, Slark. Slacks, we're starting with you. Who's taking game 2?
I did like EHOME a lot before the Pudge. I don't think he's going to be able to be that tanky person they're looking for. I'm going to have to go for Wings.
I want to see somebody take Wings down. They picked the Pudge. I'll go EHOME again.
I think the Slark was a solid last pick. Good up against the Batrider, be able to purge off the stacks, and he can get in the back line with like Shao Dance if he has to get the ward down. The Wings.
I think Slark is the right combination of aggression and late game. I think their dual off lane will be moderately successful enough to keep EHOME from rolling over this game. I'm going to say Wings.
So he's taking EHOME.
Okay, Wings it is. So here we go, game number 2. We've got our casters, Mott as well as Purge again. Take it away, boys. Save us from this panel.
Thanks so much, guys. We are back in with game number 2 between EHOME and Wings. Of course, there's the upper bracket finals. We're about to determine here, maybe in game number 2, who moves on, of course, to the grand finals, who goes down to the lower bracket. Of course, my name is Mott, with me is Purge. We're going to jump right into the game, but before we do, Purge, how do you feel about the draft from EHOME this time without that Stellar State Plane?
I was really liking the Pugna pick. It's one of the hardest counters to OD before OD gets BKB, but I think the Slark was the perfect pick here for Wings, just because EHOME is lacking some disable. I mean, there's always the potential that Pudge can save whoever Wings goes on, but it's a little iffy now. I think at almost no stage does Pugna become effective against Slark. Maybe early game pre-BKB, but at some point Slark has so much HP that, and Dark Pact as well, obviously being able to remove the Decrepify, I feel like he's just the right hero for the game.
Yeah, he's very mobile, obviously. Should have a pretty good time. We'll see how the lanes shape up. It looks like we're getting more into a standard opening. Looks like the Slarkers get a head top for Wings. We won't have that aggressive trial lane. I don't believe by any members of the teams here. EHOME's sending their Batrider top, so far it looks like standard lanes from both sides.
Yep, really good idea for them just to pull the creep wave. It guarantees Batrider gets a fast level 2. Makes it a little harder for Slark to last it as well. In the mid lane, this should be fairly even. I would say Pugna definitely has an advantage here, just because of comparable base damage, great movement speed, and obviously once he gets Nether Ward as well, it's going to make Blink think twice about, maybe even blink before he chooses to cast his second spell.
Yeah. Now, tell me about the Pugna. Obviously, we see it a lot in push strats. You have a Luna with you as well. Who would have thought Siler getting gone on down bottom? This is what they were talking about during the draft, the aggressive dueling between both the Sekiro and Faith Beyond. Now Lanham doing some serious work against Ice Ice. The Rock coming through. They will get the first blood. Siler comes back in. Has more than enough damage, and now Faith Beyond getting brought down as well. Pudge does not get the deny off in time. It is going to be Faith Beyond securing the second kill, but it is a 1-for-1 trade with first blood going to EHOME.
Yeah, that was pretty good for EHOME there. I really like their aggressive dual lane, but Pudge is such a good pick against two tanky heroes just because you can chase him so long using Rot. Rot just a little bit too much in that last engagement, but Tri-Lane wins again. Fatal Bonds really made a big impact here, actually, between the two heroes. The Rot was doing incredible damage to the Jakiro.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, Warlock helping out with Fatal Bonds. All of his abilities pretty good. Garter playing a pretty good support, pretty good hero in this game, but We'll see how this dual lane does go in the bottom lane for the next couple of moments. But it is interesting. You do have that Pugna pickup. You do have the Luna. They can push if they want. They have plenty of magical burst damage coming out. Is that what they're looking for instead of the push, or are they trying to take down towers early here as well?
Yeah, it's more about tower pressure. Being able to deny some of the farm from the tri-lane is a big deal. Maybe deny some of their pulls as well can always help. That's really going to be their focus. It's also going to keep the supports in lane and not ganking towards OD, which could be really dangerous, especially with Decrep. Things like Decrep Rot or Decrep Shadow Word can be hugely impactful.
You already talked about Blink maybe having a tough time against this Pugna. So far doing okay, but down bottom again, Faith Beyond forced to TP. Looks like he will be able to make it out. No Lucid Beam there, and Faith Beyond makes it really rather tanky, especially in this Night Stalker, so somehow survives in that situation.
Yep, they used the Lucid Beam a little too early there, unfortunately for them. Nice TP. I almost would have wished he went to base rather than the tier 1. I don't think he expected to take that much damage though. And Old Chicken off to a great start here, 9-3 versus the 9-7 of OD. So OD actually denying better right now, but in a couple more levels I think Pugna can get an edge.
Dual Breath Sylar might be in trouble. Did he actually get hit by it? Looks like he did. Still taking a lot of damage. Faith Beyond trying to juke his way through and get this kill. The Shadow Word healing him up. And look at the Rot. Go to work. The loose beam, the hook connects. Fairy Fire's there, but it's not enough. And Old Bottom getting turned on, but Faith Beyond is out of mana, and all of a sudden Sylar's at full HP after that Shadow Word. Fatal Bonds will go. This should be a kill. Can the Rock get there? They have another Lucid Beam. Looks like they might not find him. The Creep's taking a lot of damage, of course. He actually used the tree to Bob Ross him. Oh, again. Oh,
What
impressive play.
And the heal wasted as well. Jakiro able to get the kill. What a sick play from the Night Stalker, stopping Sylar from putting enough damage in to get the kill. Really nicely done by Faith Beyond.
I can't believe he did that. Faith Beyond. Dear Lord. Well, he will make his escape, of course, and back to that well. But that bottom lane, still a lot of action there. You can see the Luna's relatively low in health. Looks like she might be going back home at this point. Top lane, there's plenty of farm going for the Slark, but
this is dangerous.
Yeah, Blink. Oh, and he's getting cornered. They get the hook off as well. There's the D-Trap coming out the rotten top. They have the 2 stacks of sticky napalm. This is almost certainly a kill. Nothing he could do there whatsoever.
Yeah, you cast your spell, you die, you wait, you die. And great rotation from Lan picking up level 3 now. He's got boots and the wind lace, which means moving between lanes is going to be easier and easier. It's got to be so scary for Blink in the mid lane. I mean, playing OD against both Pugna and Pudge, it's 2 huge threats.
Yeah, but the good thing coming out for Wings, even though they lost a couple heroes down at that bottom lane, is that Sylar had to rotate back home. It spent maybe 2 minutes in that well. As you can see, he started running back at about 2:30. Finally, he's back in lane, but he missed out on at least 1 to 2 creep waves of experience at farm. Meanwhile, top lane, 11 pound stuff. Dark Pack should be there, and it is. He can, in a sense, cast go through, but he's just going to Firefly and get to a position where Wings can't chase him.
Maledict definitely helping, but Batrider's had a great game so far, only having 1 support up here. That's the downside of a dual lane. As long as your off lane can get a lot of value out of his lane, it's worth it.
So Beam, Fatal Bonds is up again. Lanham setting himself in the tree line, but won't be able to find anything right now. This is a much better start still, even though they're not getting as much farm for Sylar. Still a much better start for EHOME.
Yeah, it really is. And all they have to do is get behind the supports again, or the off lane, and they can definitely kill another Jakiro or a Night Stalker. Though it is nighttime, which means that getting to kill off a Night Stalker is so much harder. It's not just because of his movement speed, but also his vision. Something that EHOME actually kind of offsets with their Lunar Aura at least, giving them some very good vision at night, but they still got to land the hook, and it's not going to be easy.
Lanham is setting himself up again. Like you mentioned, though, Hunter in the night is up for the Night Stalker. 11's going to come back in. There is a ward that was there, but it might have been de-warded for the Radiant team, but looks like he's just going to take some stacks. Here comes Lanham. The Lucent Beam is up. They should have a hook ready to go. Ice Path connects, though. There's the silence coming out, so they can't use the hook. Fatal Bond's doing a lot of damage. One more right click, and it will be the Warlock getting the kill. The cast, though, can they break down this Luna? The stick charge comes out, but it's the Void that does bring him down.
Oh, Lanham actually could have saved him there if he just threw the hook on the Luna when he got really low. I thought he was dead and it wasn't worth it, but that wand did everything to keep him alive and probably should have thrown it. Dead Luna for a Jakiro, not so worth it. And I'm going to say Wings' dual offlane is absolutely gaining value here.
Yeah, this Luna's just not finding the farm maybe that she needs to. 40 last hits for the Slark, it's 20 for the Luna, so down in 26. Yes, there's been some kills going EHOME's way, but now Lanham walking back in. Silence comes out again from Faith Beyond, but slowed up by the Rot. Shadow Word is there. There's the Lucid Beam. Ice Path doesn't connect, but there's the dual breath. Faith Beyond still in trouble. He hooks, but it's the wrong target. Innocent still might fall. Lanham is low. One more auto attack. They will bring each other down. Faith Beyond is barely alive. There's the after they rotate and Blink. Ice Path not connecting again. Ice just barely missing on these. He'll get off the liquid fire. Siler will take more damage. He has 7 stick charges, but they could have gotten more off that for Wings.
Yeah, absolutely. He missed the dual breath slow, and he missed the ice path. He got the dual breath damage component, but needed both aspects of the ice dragon. That guy's sleeping on the job. Fire One doing all the work.
Yeah. That poor Ice Dragon not connecting for his Jakiro Ice. Having a great game last game on that Earthshaker. This game is doing pretty well. Hook comes in nicely from Lana. Immediate Astral. The Decrep is there. The Nether Flash should come next. Here comes Old Chicken. And Blanket's going to have a tough time getting out of this. He has Astral in 3. Double damage rune. If he can get some help, he can turn this. He's running down. You can see the supports are coming. There's the Life Drain. Blinks low and will die. Almost narrowly made it into the Roche Pit forward deny, but wasn't there in time. Good rotation, and Lana hits yet another beautiful hook.
Yeah, a little sloppy there. A couple things that EHOME could have done better to make that cleaner, but they get the kill. Almost a suicide to Roche, though. Very, very close. So things going okay. Ooh.
Oh.
That'd been great for EHOME. Another kill, possibly getting Pudge closer to 6, maybe even getting the 6. But Witch Doctor at least is very under-leveled. Has spent so much time trying to zone the Batrider that it's a gimped himself. Gets an Observer Ward here. Really nice pickup at least, but they're having some issues. The dual lane giving them a lot of Luna kills, but not quite all the levels in gold they want.
They will connect with this Ice Path. There's the Dual Breath and the Void. Very slowed. Sylar does have 10 wand charges. We'll use him. He's got the range drop as well. Shadow Word healing him back up. Is there enough damage? Blink now having to turn. And will survive. More TPs coming in. Here comes the Pugna. Decrep and of course the Life Drain coming out. And Faith Beyond still rather tanky. Here comes the TP. They have the lasso coming out. They have the stun. Faith Beyond will end up falling. He does get the silence up, but it's not enough. And they find the other kill as well onto the Chikiro. Gets brought down.
Will banish on Lanham to prevent the hook, and Wings gets punished. The Shadow Word from the Warlock absolutely making Luna much more survivable than she is normally. And it's such a good hero for that reason. It's already good at laning, but you can take a hero that's normally very squishy and has some tri-lane problems like Luna, and it makes her almost impossible to kill. If the OD banishes her, then she's getting healed while she's banished, and it's not necessarily going to guarantee the kill. So great rotations from EHOME to be there at the right time, and Old Chicken absolutely showing up in the lane when he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, the other support as well from Old 11, making sure he got down there, got another kill with that lasso. It looks like they will have to give up this tier 1 tower. There is Lanham, doesn't get the hook, the Lucent Beam. He moved just a little too far forward. They do get the tower, no deny from Faith Beyond or Ice in that time.
So no 6 yet on Night Stalker. It's about 9 minutes in. They're starting to get a bit behind in terms of levels. They also haven't been able to take the tier 1 tower. They were hoping to get that advantage against EHOME, but the Pudge and the Warlock, man, that's a pretty scary tri-lane.
It is dangerous. That Pudge has gotten some work done on him. Despite his deaths, which are 3, he's still done a very good job. Those deaths are all worth it usually because he's gotten a kill off of every single one, I feel like.
One more kill and he will hit 6, so he'd love to have it now, but he's going to grab a smoke and go for a rotation. Best kill would be Slark most likely, but I'm sure he would settle for an OD kill as well.
If he's on his way to an Aether Lens, perhaps, as he has the energy booster ready to go. And EHOME are starting to find that farming experience that, like you talked about for Wings, they're kind of struggling with the Night Stalker not being up to his ultimate yet. You don't have, of course, the Witch Doctor did just hit 6 not too long ago. He got some experience mid.
Perfect gank opportunity here. Pugna needs to get out, but
he's got no TP. Do they know it, though? They're going to maybe find him walking out. Old Chicken, Astral immediately. He has Decrep ready to go. The cast, as well as the damage from... misses the pounce, actually, but I don't know if it's going to matter. The cast will bounce through perfectly timed with the creep wave. Nether Ward is down, but it gets immediately blown away. A much-needed kill for Wings here.
Yeah, a little bit interesting that he went up there. The Dire team did have a ward. They were ready for that. As soon as they saw him TP, they started the smoke and they moved to the top lane. So pretty rough for Pugna there. I think he assumed that he got into the top lane without being spotted, but the fact that they got him there that's a big loss for EHOME considering they were on a good swing here.
They're going to smoke too, but they won't find anything with it, at least not for now. Garter as well as Lanham looking for something, but meanwhile top lane Shadow is picked up, and Echo Saber, you have the tier 1 tower being pressured. Bottom lane, maybe some action?
Echo before Shadowblade. Interesting choice for the Slark, but I guess his team does have a lot of setup already, so maybe just prioritizing how much farm it'll help.
Void cast, there's the silence as well. Death Ward, 3 TPs. And look at that, one right in the row.
He's gonna die though. He needs a heal.
Maledict, they have the life drain. The medic has arrived. Old Chicken respawns to help out his squad, and now it looks like it will be a turn. Silence comes out. Firefly, they might not be able to chase this. Meanwhile, they find a kill top for Shadow. Oh, that hook again. Just narrowly missing for Lottom. He's so close on all of these. He will not connect on that one.
I mean, every kill that EHOME is about to get additionally is 1 level difference. So 1 more level on the hook, or maybe it's Aether Lens being finished. He actually gets those kills. Wings actually applying pressure, so smart right now. Grabbing the Warlock on the top lane, that means he's dead, can't apply his rock in that fight bottom. and they're doing just enough pressure. At least they keep the Luna alive, though. That was huge.
You have the push continuing here for Shadow and Ice. This Jakiro with Liquid Fire, very good at taking down towers. It looks like there's not going to be anybody there for EHOME to deny this. They'll just take it. They won't get the last hit, though, for Wings, but still a tier 2 tower is a tier 2 tower. Lana missing another hook. Silence comes out. The Rot actually doing some damage to himself. He will make it away. The tower hit. The stick charge saves him. He's sitting at 59 HP as he walks away from that tier 2.
But he can't wait to get Fleshy if he's been a part of 7 kills. It'll be a nice HP increase, but for now, EHOME having some trouble getting things done on the map. The Luna, she's got okay farm, and she's level 6, but it's 12 minutes in and she's level 6. You'd normally expect her to be a bit higher, have more glaives levels so that she can actually farm independently. But now it's forcing EHOME to have to actually spend support resources standing near her to make sure she doesn't die. And on the other side, heroes like Pugna don't feel very comfortable split pushing, at least until he gets a Force Staff, because there's so many big threats like Night Stalker ganking him or potential Slark. So it's EHOME's in this weird position right now where they want to try to take fights and get kills, but the same opportunities aren't necessarily there. Fudge Gank gonna creep on the mid lane with his ultimate, just a health gain measure most likely, and
dismembered.
Almost a Midas now for Night Stalker. This is gonna allow him to transition a lot faster despite spending more time ganking.
And Shadowblade is going to be completed rather soon for this Slark as well. His net worth is pretty high, 2,000 above the next closest player. That is exactly where you want to be as a Slark.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's out of control. It's more like this game has just been so high action that teams aren't able to farm as much as they normally expect.
And he's been the only one with constant CS as well as kills in that top lane. He's stood there for most of the game. I don't think he's rotated out of that lane up until now. He's rotating till mid. We do have a gank coming from Monum as well as this Bat Rider.
I think they want to fight this one.
They do, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they got Ice though.
The lasso, but the Astral comes out. He'll pull him back nonetheless. And he will actually get him in a good position. Dismember coming out. Good force away coming out. There's the hook onto face beyond. Another Astral. The chaotic off from EHOME starting to look for this good fight, and they might have the beginnings of it. Ice will drop down that macro pyre, but it's already too dead for Wings. Blink's in some trouble. He's got force in 1 second. Hook, it's there. A lot of gets it forced back towards this creep camp. Sylar will find him. The Astral is there.
All he has to do is kill everyone.
Well, that's not going to happen, Purge, unfortunately.
That was close.
He does not drop the ultimate. I don't even think he has it skilled it up now, but it is 3 dead for EHOME, or excuse me, 3 kills for EHOME.
That was just amazing for EHOME there. The fact that they were able to get the lasso up while Wings was setting up the great napalm for vision, that started everything for EHOME, because as soon as they grabbed Jakiro, expecting them to be there, the whole fight goes EHOME's way. The hook as well to catch him after the force from OD. Everything went EHOME's way in that fight.
Right now, Wings, one bad engagement puts them a little bit behind it. Of course, Shadow's still doing well for himself, but there's 3 net worth heroes for EHOME that they're right up there in the top of the charts. And they're getting some much needed items. You talked about the 4-step roll chicken. You know, the Aether one's now done for Old Venom, or at least close to.
And this is the big item here, the Shadowblade, because so far Wings can't really do solo gank type stuff. They've kind of tried with the Night Stalker, but going for a Midas, his impact isn't massive just yet. Even something like an Armlet wouldn't solve that, but once you get a Shadowblade on Slark and you start finding solo heroes like Pudge or Warlock or Pugna, and you have somebody else nearby that can help you with that, that's going to start being some important kills for Wings. So EHOME's got to be pretty worried right now about this.
And he's going to essentially start moving around. They'll push out both mid and bottom before they can make any sudden movements towards any of their lanes. They'll move together for now. Wings are kind of grouped up around this ancient stack. It looks like they will smoke up and head for gank opportunity. Potentially mid lane. They did have Lanham down bottom, but he TP'd away already.
Shadow will go first.
It looks like. Yes, the Shadow Blade. Old 11 will be a huge target. Finds the Invis rune. Instead, he'll go on Old Chicken, and he will get caught. No. Oh man, no decrypt available because he gets blown away instantly.
Yeah, decrypt's not even that great against the Slark, really. You maybe cast it on Slark, if anything, but you're still taking a lot of damage.
Yep.
So trying for a hook, not going to find anything, and now EHOME's on the back foot, especially because the Pugna went for Force Staff. Kind of a weird build, considering that he is against a Slark. That means if Pounce lands, Pugna dies pretty much no matter what. Because if it's not going to be Slark doing magic damage, it's going to be a Macro Pyre. Or it's going to be Witch Doctor dropping an ulti, or putting a Maledict on him. It's just a really bad game to be Pugna now. That Slark pick just really made this tough.
Shadow's positioning. He's got the Shadow Dance up. No Shadow Blade is on cooldown as he's trying to find an area to hide so they don't quite see him. Maybe wanting to try this fight mid lane, but not sure if they're going to go for it. Wings are moving together now. And it's just kind of, I think, both teams being a bit more passive. And this gives the Luna a bit more time to farm at the very least.
It does, I guess, but she doesn't feel very safe farming, because once you lose your tier 1 tower, even farming your own jungle doesn't feel like a safety thing. They took tier 2 towers top lane as well, which means that farming near the large camp by your secret shop or farming near ancients is more and more scary. It's all about fights. They got to take a fight.
Lasso. The smoke does break. Shadow scouts it out first and foremost, still with the Shadow Blade. Now looking for Old 11. They're going to try to fight this. The Death Ward is there. They will get up the Lucid Beam. They bring down the goal, but the Shadow Dance is up and available. He pounces away in time. Actually, it might have been a 4-step from Blink instead. The hook was there, but again, mobility from Wings gets them out. It was the 4-step that pushes that Slark away and brings it to safety. They find an easy pick. They back off, and now they might go again. Siler will TP home. They have already used the Golem, and EHOME probably don't want to fight here for the next couple of moments.
That was such a smart way to initiate a gank. Just Slark for vision, he can press his ultimate, and Witch Doctor is so far back that it's difficult for EHOME to actually interrupt the stun.
They will find another one, and it of course is Pudge. Lanham gets dropped down. Very easy gank, and now they're just starting to take over vision. It looks like Old Chicken might be next. They're looking for a cast, can't quite find it. Did get the counter ward, I believe, but you need to be very careful with positioning for EHOME.
Well, Faith Beyond's still farming here, but this is really the time period where he's set. I mean, during daytime regions, he just hits up a lane, farms it with Midas, and in the meantime, Slark's farming enemy territory and looking for kills with Shadow Blade and +1. And that's why Jakira's actually farming neutrals like this, because if anybody ever does come into the lane, it's a Macro Pyre with a Slark Pounce, and that kills just about anybody on EHOME.
Feels like EHOME are starting to lose more and more map control as this game progresses.
Yeah, it's completely out of control. The fact that they got 2 towers at the start, and then eventually got the safe lane tower, it changed everything.
They haven't taken that mid-tier 1, which would give them even more map control for Wings, but...
That's because EHOME spent so much time defending it. After that initial fight in the jungle, instantly Luna TPs to the mid lane to push it out, to make sure that ideally Wings can't just shift mid and take that tier 1. Because they know once that happens, Luna's ability to farm is completely gone. Not that it isn't already pretty weak. It's got a Helm of the Dominator at least so he can try to stack Ancients, but you know, just some nice ward pressure or something like that means Wings is easily going to have half of the enemy jungle and all of their side of the map too.
Yeah, the map control is huge. Siler does pick up his Yasha as well, but he's still got a long way to go if they want to really rely on the Godzilla Luna in the late game. They can certainly set those kills up. Not seeing too many lassos coming out from EHOME, maybe 1 or 2, but nothing too aggressive. It's just been really Wings' positioning. And now with the Hurricane Pike done for Outworld Devour, it's going to get more and more tough for EHOME.
I really like this choice on Blink to go all the way for it, just because it lowers the cooldown from about 20 seconds to, I believe, 14, something like that. Not to mention he can use it to get some gap between himself and Pudge, himself and a Bat Rider, even like the Luna, just get away from the Eclipse. And this is what Wings is going to do. Control the map, push the lanes out, keep everybody farming, and occasionally do a gank. That's why they've been banning heroes like Spirit Breaker. It's that same kind of pressure. And Slark does it arguably a lot better because he can farm super rapidly, he can spot enemy wards like this,
He even has a
and
gem.
jungle.
Ice has purchased a gem for this Slark. They want to make sure they have complete and utter map control. It's not about Invis heroes, it's literally about taking over the map and just dominating it in every way, shape, and form at this point.
And EHOME can't pressure without that kind of vision. If you have a Pudge, he's going to sit back, wait till somebody gets jumped on by Slark, and then hook them back. That's his value right now, unfortunately. And it's not going to be enough, probably. Unless they get some really good hooks. Maybe they can hit the back line. Maybe they can grab the Slark instead, get a stun off before he pops his ultimate or a Dark Pact, but finally they pressure the tier 1 tower. They've got so much net worth advantage, they feel comfortable.
It is not going to be easy. The hook again, narrowly missing. Blink just sidesteps it. They were trying to set up a defense here for EHOME. Wings just immediately back up. They're not really willing to push into 4 heroes. Lana might have been spotted by Innocence. We'll drop the ward down so they have some vision for EHOME on the high ground. And here comes Shadow. The Sentry Ward is there.
Shadow knows. He knows it's there.
Yeah, he has, of course, his... Oh, he gets hooked anyway! The Shadow Dance pass is not enough. He gets it off in time. The Golem, they can't bring him down, but the lasso's there. Already, EHOME's starting to do pretty well in this fight. Faith Beyond will fall first. The Flame Break push back, not there for Innocence, but it looks like he might be too slow. The Decrep, and he will be another martyr for the cause. They'll try to TP home. Blink will get out. Shadow still getting chased down by Old 11. There's the pounce. Shadow Dance passive finally comes out as he pops the Shadow Blade, and he hightails it out. But good fight for EHOME, taking 2.
It's actually best case there for EHOME. Just by hooking Slark that out of position and throwing some disables, he's instantly forced to press his ultimate, which means there's no frontliner for Wings anymore to set up disables. And at that point, EHOME actually gets to do what they want, which is Luna running and casting Eclipse without a fear of death. But if it goes the other way around, if Slark initiates on Siler and starts slapping him, disables him, and there's Wings follow-up, then he's going to die instantly. So that's perfect. They just got to land the hook, pull him super out of position, and allow EHOME, therefore, to chase the retreating Wings away.
See a Roche attempt here from Wings. They send Shadow in. There's a Silver Age as well. And, more heroes from Wings coming in. There's no vision for EHOME, nor is there any vision here for Wings at this point around the Roche pit. But
things are getting better for Pugna as well. He has Aether Lens now, so he can cast his ultimate from farther away. Hasn't opted to go for Ags just yet, lowering his cooldown, but the fact that he can cast long range, his heal to try to keep somebody like Luna alive could change a lot, especially with Warlock heal on top of that. That's the guy that has to live, and as he buys more and more damage items rather than survivability items, he could get into a period where he actually just kills all of Wings with himself.
we'll wait and see. This Pugna's still rather squishy. There's going to be an Aghanim scepter rather soon for the Night Stalker on top of this. There's more and more vision coming out. With that gem still up on Shadow, they get it early, so map control is going to be the name of the game, but they do pick up the Aegis. Shadow has it. They'll grab Roche and I guess push bottom out just for the time being.
I mean, they had vision before when they actually fought around that high ground cliff, but they waited way too long to reinitiate to try to destroy the ward. I think it might have been better for Slark to approach and use a Quelling Blade, but the issue then is that if Batrider jumps in and lassos, they're already in a bad spot. And I think that's why he was playing a little bit safe and delaying that, but gave them way too much time for the hook to cool down, and that's what got EHOME a bit back into this game. In fact, they're in a kill advantage, which is pretty remarkable considering what this game has felt like for about 15 minutes, but you can finally start seeing it in the net worth here. Wings does have a gold advantage, and their cores are looking a lot safer in the late game.
It is slight here for Wings, but there's still obviously many chances for EHOME. They picked up the Meta Style for Salar, so he's starting to get a little bit bigger. Of course, that Luna gets big enough, this game can start spiraling out of control for Wings.
They know exactly where they are, by the way. They saw the Astral. There's the
Tier
pressure.
1 tower.
Great grab.
That is a great last of the force back up to the high ground. That is a dead Shakiro more than likely. Decrypt followed up by the life screen. They really want the tower. They'll find it, but they do give away one. Now can they get out cleanly? Old Chicken should have a blink again, but it looks like they won't chase any further. Another big pick coming up for EHOME.
They get the Jakiro. He's pretty farmed. He spent quite a bit of time split pushing. Not everything for them. This looks like a smoke to me.
Yeah, that's...
They're running right through the ward, though.
They are moving together for EHOME.
They do de-ward it, though.
They get it down, so they know that...
Did they get the gem?
No,
They
Shadow
do have
still
one.
have
It's on. There's one on the Batrider. They purchased their own.
Yeah.
So, finally taking care of that Observer ward. They can do what they want now. Yeah, there's a Warlock purchasing that one. Speaking of Warlock, he's got a mechanism.
Yeah.
Great pickup here. Helps a lot in team fights. And again, the ever crucial thing, keep Luna alive to continue doing damage. Same thing, keep Pugna alive maybe to keep doing damage. I like the pickup a lot here, especially with some potential Orchids coming out on Wings' side. Once he gets Greaves, if he gets Silence, pop Greaves, pop your ulti, change the team fight.
There's BKB coming out on top of that for Pugna, so he's going to have it soon. Old Chicken. The same could be said for Owl Devour, who has the recipe currently in his inventory. Just needs the Mithril Hammer, and he's very close to it too. We're going to be at that point where EHOME can start maybe fighting on even terms with Wings, even after the Slark did so well. Look at this. The Luna's now top in net worth over the Slark, so after a great beginning for Shadow, starting to slow down a bit against the Glaives that Luna can farm so well with.
Yeah, a lot of that actually comes down to the way that Slark's been playing recently, in my opinion. The item he chose to go for was a Silver Edge. It's fairly expensive for what it gives you stat-wise. It's still an amazing item, but that's still 2,500 gold towards an upgraded Shadow Blade. Instead, he could have gone something like Scotty, perhaps, just to kill creeps faster, things like that. The Silver Edge does give him great opportunity to try to kill the Luna, reducing her passive, giving them great vision advantage at nighttime, despite the Luna aura. But I'm just not sold on the Silver Edge quite yet. It does give him better space in his inventory to keep Quelling Blade up to maybe D-ward and things like that, but he has been spending more time looking for kills lately than he has been actually farming.
Yeah, he's going to look for more here, as it's one of the last smokes for Wings in quite some time. They do so without Blank. He can be involved in a fight pretty quickly, but where will they go? This Batrider not finding Shadow yet. And might be looking for the Luna. I believe she has TP'd out, in fact. She's gone.
Yeah,
the scan, that is a dire scan. Yep.
They were looking to see if she was farming that camp before she went home. Very common play after you push out the enemy off lane, but safer play is to TP back to your team when you're against the Slark.
I feel like the map control that Wings had is starting to diminish, and there was such a tight hold. But I think EHOME have done a great job of dodging these engagements or finding picks where they can. It's not like they're just, completely avoiding these fights, but now maybe something amiss.
They got the ward, and they grabbed somebody though.
They have the lasso. Ice Path, he walks into it. Batrider will fall for it. It's time to back now if you're EHOME. No more further initiation. Wings won't go further. The hook, they'll grab the Jakiro. Maybe not the right target. Ice Path onto two. Shadow coming in as well. Now wants to turn to Siler. Pops the Med Snout. He's still leashed up. There's the South. The Golem. Counter initiation. Shadow gets stuff for Shadow. Now Innocent's backing away on top. Ice Path, they'll grab the Jakiro. No hook onto Innocent. Might need it back here. Wings is taking a lot of damage. Shadow does have that Aegis, but there's that Shadow Blade. counter initiation too strong from EHOME even after getting that initial pick. They can't do enough damage to bring down Sylar.
I truly thought that was going to go way worse for EHOME after the hook. Great ice path as well to lock him down, but only the Bat Rider that died. It was great plays from both teams, really. The Jakiro knew that there was going to be a Bat Rider coming, so he threw an ice path down ahead of time, and the same on EHOME's side. The Bat Rider knew there was going to be more enemies in the area, jumps in, tries to get a lasso, but wasn't able to snag a pick. Once he gets BKB, it's basically guaranteed until we see something like a Abyssal Blade coming out of Wings. But there's always obviously the threat of the banish on the lasso target. Still puts them out of position, but at least they're defended until they actually exit the banish.
I feel like Blink hasn't really been in a position to do a lot of damage in these fights. I mean, it's usually Shadow that's up in the front line, but I haven't seen Blink find any of these kills or move around a lot.
I think that's just because the fights are weird every single time.
Yeah,
it starts from a Pudge hook, or it starts from somebody on EHOME getting jumped on. Especially the one fight where Wings should have won it, when they fought near the large camp in the Radiant Jungle. That was the one that started with Wings completely on the wrong foot, which shouldn't have happened considering their gold and map advantage. But that's what happened, and here we are in this kind of a position. This is going to favor EHOME, I think, as they go a bit later, just because Pugna has not been getting killed repeatedly in team fights. Luna is actually out farming Slark, partially just because of item choices, but also just because of glaives. And Wings hasn't been able to find solo kills. EHOME, it's just so important that their heroes don't die solo. They did lose a gem there.
That's the probably most important thing in that fight, I think. I mean, the kill is great and everything, but it's the gem that really is going to matter at the end of the day.
And they could go on Sylar. Oh, he's got the BKB. This is a decent fight for EHOME. If they can defend him, they don't have the rock. That's the only downside. But with the BKB, no silence problems, no OD problem for Sylar. He can just start fighting. Pop the BKB and run at his enemies.
He's starting to do a decent amount of right click. He's not quite at that big spot with his right click, but his Eclipse is still strong, his Lucent Beam is still strong. But they won't be able to find the initiation. It kind of seemed like Wings were ready, and then it backed up at the last second here. The Aghanim Scepter has been up for Faith Beyond. I do want to look at the gold graph, though, and determine, like, there is still a net worth advantage for Wings. It's 4,000 at 28 minutes. It's not the biggest lead, but it is a lead nonetheless.
It's just so little, though. If you spread it over 5 heroes, or maybe we'll say spread it over 3 cores, for most of those heroes, that doesn't make a difference in terms of whether they have an item or not. So it might be a buyback.
Yeah.
Definitely something that could be impactful. Could be a gem when needed, rather than having to wait 2 minutes for it. But I think it's close enough where it's really more about the heroes and how they take a fight.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're going to be looking for. Can EHOME start a fight on Wings when Wings isn't expecting it, or is it going to be the other way around?
The Chaotic Offering seems to be one of the X factors here. Of course, Lanham getting a good hook too. EHOME can find some good initiation potential, but it always seems like they're the ones getting jumped on here, and that might be the case yet again.
They see him.
They will see the Slark. They'll drop the
Bat might go for this.
They do know that it's there. Hooks again, Lanham. He's been so close this entire game. If he just gets one of those hooks, maybe something changes, but it's not there. No.
Trying to pressure this.
They know Shadow's around.
They can Ice Path. That's their ranged initiation option. It's out of the Slark Pounce.
He's going very far
forward. The big hook.
He gets the hook.
There's no Dark Pact.
Can they get the Shadow Dance off? He can. The Dark Pact is there in time. Now the Pounce is up, and Lanham might be the one to fall. Magnifiers there as well. BKB for both the cores. There's the goal coming up. Shadow will fall. Dead for 65. No buyback, and Seller's still running. That Luna is big, but they're kind of just maybe play this safe, wait for the creep wave and pushing that tier 2 tower. Maybe find another hook as well. Lanham is looking. He survived somehow through that initiation, but the counter initiation from the Golem, the right clicks are enough to bring down that Slark.
That's just everything they wanted. He was able to get Dark Pact off after getting hooked, but he was still so out of position. You only have a certain amount of time when your BKB's up or your ulti's going that your team can help you do damage. But Slark by himself in this kind of a game where he hasn't gotten tons of picks cannot solo the whole enemy team. So amazing hooks coming from Lanham, completely changing the game and really justifying that 8th lens pickup.
26 seconds on the sideline. They don't have Glyph either here for this tier 3 tower. I don't know, they might lose this. Not sure if they'll lose Rax. Yule's immediately coming out. The Jakiro perfectly timed Ice Path. The cast Double Force, but it's not enough to get to the low ground. Firefly should do the rest of the job. And they can't take the tier 3 tower, but they do get a lot out of this last fight. The 1 kill and the tier 3 chip damage. They'll TP home.
Wings looking like they have cracks in their strategy. It's more of a team fight thing, though. Really, it's just been all about the hooks. The hooks have been the reason that EHOME wins any of these fights. Lanham has been desperately close in so many of them, oftentimes just an inch too short to grab a kill, but pulling to carry that out of position just gives you such a big upper hand in fights, and EHOME's been taking it and finally farming enough to guarantee that they can have some great fights afterwards.
EHOME now feeling a lot more confident these past couple of minutes. Again, Slark starting to, with that death especially, I mean, he was maybe 1,000 behind the Luna, now he's about 3,000, and that is big. That is almost an item, if not one already.
They do see Batrider.
They have the vision with the Aghanim Scepter. The Luna's nearby as well, but has the BKB. That would be a great target, but they have no way of really locking her down long enough, I don't believe. Another hook? No.
It's basically the opposite problem of last game. They might go Batrider now. Oh, it's the Luna.
They find the Luna. The BKB will go. The Death Ward is there. They force out another charge at the very least at 31 minutes and 2 charges down now.
That's not too bad, especially because Wings does have a lot of
They
disables.
need to go for a fight now that the BKB is down if they can find a good initiation, but look at Sylar. He's already back underneath the tier 3 tower.
And they still have to be so afraid of Pudge. He can hook from about tower range towards their actual Rax area.
The Aghanim Scepter does give them some good vision
They're trying to
of the
bait
push.
the ward, I think. Watch, Witch Doctor's gonna hit. Here comes the hook.
Hook, yep. They will find the Night Stalker. It's not what Bottom wanted, but they will find something. Ice Path. Astra will come out, at least avoiding some of the damage, but he's in the base. And there's the Eclipse on top. Faith Beyond. We'll see you later. Flame Break. Decrep done. 57. BKB did go for Blink. Another good hook, but even though it was accidental, it still works out in their favor.
It was amazing play by Innocence. He saw the bait, and he tried to juke it, and he did, but it got the guy in the back.
Innocence. Glimmer TP, not in time. Lucid Beam is there, the life drain, the decrep, and another target going the way of EHOME for sure.
This is like the 4th time in a row that EHOME has gotten an advantage from a hook. Wings can't take a normalized fight. They almost have to throw their bodies at EHOME and start it.
That Courier needs to be careful.
Blink.
Hold 11. Needs maybe 2 more auto attacks for it. 1 4-step forward. He'll get it, it looks like. Nothing on the Courier. And that was spotting out the Roche respawn. Looks like they will be able to TP him away as well. So they get 2 kills. They get the Courier and maybe positioning around Roshan as it respawns currently.
And now they feel so much more confident on the map. Look, Luna's solo farming because she knows that Slark can't solo kill her just because Slark hasn't been able to take good ganks or fights. Despite his low deaths, he's just not a typical pub Slark. It's the thing we all fear. If only every game was like this playing against Slark.
Yeah, then it would be a lot easier on pubs against this hero. One of the most annoying heroes to deal with in that scene. But for now, Shadow's just not getting enough done in this game. There's a Butterfly as well, so until Shadow gets an MKB, this is going to be a lot more difficult to bring down this. And they haven't found a kill since maybe the 15-minute mark on Sylar either. It's just that she's not been killed. Sylar has not been brought down.
They're getting farther and farther ahead. Butterfly against OD as well, a great pick up there. I think they need something like a Blink Hex or something on Wings' side. They're really lacking lockdown. And now that there's BKBs on EHOME and coverages from Force Staffs and Hooks and even Pugna on the backside, it's just so difficult for them to deal with this. Ag's now finished on Pugna. He's got Ags, Aether Lens, BKB, Force Staff. The only thing he's missing is armor, but he doesn't even need it because Slark's not that far ahead and he can just decrep himself.
Yeah, they're in a very good position. That's going to give a lot of tankiness to Pugna so that he can stay alive, he can life drain.
And damage really is the thing I'm worried about in terms of Wings' side. Any person that's within cast range, at least while EHOME is chasing, if they decrep that guy, they're going to die real fast. Like Nightstalker was forced to buy a hood, for God's sake, just to try to survive against some of these things. And I don't even think it's going to matter soon. Once they get like a veil even, it's not even going to look like he has a hood.
For EHOME, it's full steam ahead now as they're starting to gain the lead. Net worth advantage, if we look at the gold graph quickly, might be in EHOME's favor. It is finally evened out. That 4,000 net worth advantage is gone. And Wings now have to start playing in the back foot. They even find a Radiant scan. EHOME for the first time. They've got a great look at where Wings might be positioned. They see Blink. There's the Blink lasso. They get the force back as well. BKB is there. Can they bring him down? He's in the trees. They will make it through. They eat the tree. Hook back. A lot of force step. Great grab. They get the kill. Dead for 68. They're underneath the tier 3. There's that decrep you were talking about, but they get the ice path as well as the cast bouncing into Old Chicken, so he can't find that second kill. But Blink going down. And he does buy the Hex, but he will not have buyback here. This is tough for Wings to defend without him.
Yeah, honestly, they need the Hex to be able to get some setup here. That's a bad time to buy the Hex, though, that's for sure. It doesn't land his first hook, but I don't even know if they need it. Once they kill this building, the glaives are going to bounce everywhere, and this Rax is going to get shredded instantly. This is really bad for Wings here. 40 seconds left to defend.
I don't know if they can get this Rax defended for Wings without that safety, or excuse me, Blink or Outworld Devour.
Glaives are bouncing.
And this is exactly what you were talking about, and this is where it gets tough. This is with one Manta illusion going to work. That's it, and they will get the full set of Rax. And luckily, still have tier 2 towers, both top and bottom. That's the one saving grace for Wings right now.
Man, the value of Luna looks so good in this game. The early game was iffy, the mid game was looking promising, but now it looks dominant. Slark is not outputting the same impact in this game. That is for sure.
EHOME are maybe a couple of more fights away from getting this victory and forcing a game number 3 against Wings, the TI champions. Wings are going to have to do some work here, but with all the items coming out for EHOME, we already talked about it. killing these EHOME heroes, especially with defensive hook, is going to be very difficult for Wings.
They haven't even needed a defensive hook pretty much the whole game because there was never actually Wings initiating past the 15-minute mark. So next item, BKB Batrider. Now when he goes in, the only thing that's going to stop him is an Abyssal Blade.
Well, unless he doesn't get that BKB in time. Here comes the smoke. The Hex will come out. High ground force away. Lottom's there. Can they get the pounce off Old 11? Another force. And his BKB arrives. They might want to turn this. Here comes Salar. They don't have that Hex. They just use it. Hook on a Shadow. Has to pop the BKB. The Gulps will come out for now. Wings already lost one. Here comes the Eclipse. Blink still taking glaive damage. Nobody dead for EHOME. And Shadow is left to his own devices. Great block from Old 11. The Shadow Dance is still there. Lottom. The hook is just narrowly going to miss. And he's got the Silver Edge up and running. Faith Beyond still trying to get out as well. He's pretty speedy with that Hunter in the Night. Blink is somehow alive with maybe about 100 HP or so. They only find the one kill. That is maybe the best that Wings could have hoped for with that botched initiation.
Yeah, a lot of big ultimates used, especially the BKB on the Luna. He was super patient with it, waiting until the last moment. It looked like it was time to fight, but Wings split real fast as soon as that initiation didn't quite go their way. It was a great Hex, but a couple Force Staffs on EHOME and an uphill miss, and that's pretty much a guaranteed wasted.
I gotta say, Shadow has to put in so much work just to survive in these fights after the Cataclysm offering has dropped down. He has to make sure his Shadow Dance is up, he's got to make sure his Silver Edge is ready to go just to get out in time. And he narrowly made an escape there, really.
You know, the Shadow Blade was such a good pickup, but now I wish that he had a Blink Dagger. I'm not saying that he should have gone back and bought Blink. Shadow Blade's absolutely the right choice in the game that presented him, but he needs now to be able to instantly initiate and hit the backline. With Shadow Blade, he can't approach. It's against a Batrider who has a gem. So either Wings needs to take a fight that gets them the gem advantage so that he can actually start abusing Shadow Blade again, or they need to be able to start off with a Hex and an instant death. Ideally disabling the backline, but that's the next issue with Wings' heroes. Ice Path is not going to reliably hit up 3 heroes, nor is Cask always going to be that successful. So tough for Wings to take these fights.
Even if they get the gem, there's probably still one available for EHOME now that it's off cooldown, I would imagine.
Yeah, most likely. Both teams do have the gems at least, but
yep.
Very tough for them to actually win a fight here. But with the lower BKB, they might get close.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one thing about Luna is that BKB timing is starting to get lower and lower. But EHOME are still feeling very confident, walking out
Shadow
aggressively.
might get spotted here.
Faith Beyond should have some vision. Shadow is going in, looking for Sylar. Mantis Sal, there's the BKB, but the Hex comes out. Can they get it done? They just don't have the damage. They've already lasted up for one. Darter's still taking a lot of damage. He actually is going to get dropped. It's finally the first sanities of the game, and they will get a kill. Shadow now. Shadow Dance is going to come out. Sylar's BKB is done. Can they get this kill? They're going into Blink. He's already low. The hook hits, but it's on to Shadow instead of Blink. Now still doing well, but Shadow will fall. Can they bring down Sylar? The Cask is coming through. Old Chicken. He's got that life here, and he's looking for another one. The Cask still bouncing up. Decrep is there. They heal Sylar back pretty much to full at this point with Old Chicken being the medic. Hook might have been one of Lonham's first real misses there, but
not a good fight for Wings considering they lost their carry, but if they can pick up Old 11, this would be amazing.
They need a void. Faith Beyond's on the hunt. He has the vision with
He needs
Aghanim
allies
Scepter.
to back him up,
Sylar's
though.
here as well. They have the Hex back up.
They're gonna go on
Sylar,
Sylar.
they find it. Can they bring him down? He's
Spot out.
got the Butterfly. He gets Ice Path. The Decrep is there. They don't have the Sanity. Now the BKB comes out. The Astral's there. Eclipse is back up. Blake will take the majority of the damage, and he will go down. Flame break, and it looks like it's going to be Hero as well. Uses himself for half a second with the Firefly as well as Sylar nearby. It's a triple kill. They just didn't have the damage, and the Butterfly comes in, and GG. Wings will go down. EHOME even up the series at 1 apiece.
That was a fight that looked so good for Wings, especially the Hex at the end, but they just couldn't quite kill the Luna in time, and the Eclipse shreds through them after that re-engage from the first team fight. Just amazing defense against the pressure from Slark. They were able to get a big farm advantage, but just a few very small choke team fights in terms of getting hooked led to that